Hey y'all, and welcome back to another weekly recap. We are hitting on Marriage at First Sight, San Diego. Honestly, I don't even remember what episode that we are on. Let's see. Y'all, we're done at episode 10, Moody Month Anniversaries. And y'all, we're at the halfway point. We're at the halfway point with these couples, and I say it every week. We are yet again getting down to the nitty gritty. Like every week, it's progress for some and bold rumpers for others. What did I just say? Road bumps for others, and then just it's still maybe not getting like this far in. It's obviously like the hopes that everyone's getting to a place, everyone's falling in love, but come on, Ashley, we gotta face reality. That's just always not necessarily the case. So, y'all, what is really good? How y'all doing? What is going on? Thanks for checking in, as always, especially if you're new. I am your girl, Ash, short for Ashley, and welcome to Ash Recaps. So, let's just not even wasting any time, because like I said, this was, the couples are coming up on their month anniversaries, or by the end of the show they all had basically been married for a month. And woo, I just felt myself just feeling like things were so intense this episode. Like, all right, like I always do, you know how we do. We're gonna just get into our individual couples or whatever, each couple by couple. So, Lindy and Miguel. I'm not going to even touch on the fact that Miguel feels like that the month was not a milestone. And I think the reason why I really disagree with that, because, okay, in respect to him, I don't know how he defines or looks at, milestones. But in respect to giving credit to your own marriage, getting this far, some people don't even get past the week, okay? Like, let's be honest here. Some people don't even get past the honeymoon. So, as far as I'm concerned, being married at first sight, especially, and still hanging on a month in, is a milestone. But I ain't even gonna touching on that or whatever. They had a nice, boat ride trip, like type of thing. They really seem to, still be, on, a good path. Lindy really, like, I feel like really adores Miguel, like, and I actually love it. And I love how, I think what's interesting is Miguel was feeling like he would not be able to rise to the occasion, to be able to meet the expectations that Lindy was expecting of him. But it probably very well, could just be his nature and just who he is as a person. Because Lindy is this person how, she's not as anxious. And Miguel has done a good job with, handling her, in those moments when she's, getting like that, getting overly anxious and things of that nature. And I think his whole that's what it was. He was like, he had basically, I read an article that you can get along with someone as long as you have reliability and predictability. And definitely let me know what y'all feel about that. Out loud, it seems like really, to make sense. If you feel like you can rely on a person, if you feel like you're, you can understand this person isn't unpredictable, you kind of know what you're going to get with someone, right, I think y'all can get along. But that's not necessarily saying that y'all should be in a relationship or that y'all should stay married forever. Like, I'm not exactly sure where he was trying to go with that, but hey, if that's even just a basis that we can go off of from here, I guess, that's progress or whatever or whatnot. I love when they have the, when they finally like check in with the couples with giving them like their wedding pictures and like showing them their wedding vows and things like that. Because literally, it seems to always come at a, perfect time. And while I feel like Lindy was honestly being Lindy, stuff like that I feel is like Miguel doesn't find attractive. She was very being, critical, and as far as Miguel would say, negative about, the wedding photos. And I think what it was, she was just expressing out loud the emotions that was happening in those pictures, but they weren't great, the best of emotions. Their wedding seemed to be the wedding day might have been exact opposites for them as far as, feelings was concerned. But it is funny when it's like, because she was so into him in the beginning, so I think it threw me a little bit when she was just like, I was so uncomfortable, okay, boom, awkward. I can kind of get that. Like, y'all are strangers, y'all just got married, you're trying to figure out, what do we say to each other, like what are we going to talk about, whatever, like, type of thing. But it's even to go as far as uncomfortable, but you seem to have been vibing with him so good. But so I don't know, I'll let that be that. But with that being said, she does still like that he's, you know standing up to his vows. He is, what's the word I'm looking for? He's living up to his vows as what he said on wedding day. So like I said, they really seem to be, on a good ride, a good vibe for them. No expressions of the L word, but I definitely think it's there. I think with Miguel, he just can be, what is the word that I wanted to say look for? It is that, just that little thing about him that's just like, oh my God, just let it be. Like him just having that, oh, I don't think it's a milestone. Like, it's kind of like he can be critical a little bit to certain things, or just like a political correctness maybe the word that I'm trying to use. Maybe that's not even the right word either, but it's something about him that's just like, did you really have, just let that go? Like, so Lindy and Miguel. I know I kind of like to go. I like that it's great. Like, I like to go like in order based on like intenseness and who like had, really stuff going on and whatever, whatever. And it's like when it comes to the rest of these couples, like, okay, no, I think it's only fitting that Stasha and Nate, like we just talk about Stasha and Nate next. Everybody's kind of like at the same time. Some of the couples are like, meeting, with their family, friends, especially with this, month anniversary coming up, and just kind of like, doing a check-ins, in regards to like what's going on. By the way, y'all, we are having mimosas tonight. You're probably hearing some plastic because, yeah, the gnats are real up in this house. I don't want to say it like that, like all of a sudden, like I just have a gnat infested house or like that. But y'all know summertime brings gnats, the fruit, whatever, whatever. I did, get some hacks to help with that now, officially starting today. But just to be on the safe side, I wanted to cover my drink with a plastic little sandwich bag, because yeah, I don't want that in my drink. So I was in a whole mimosa type mood, y'all, since like early this morning, and mimosas it is tonight. So like I said, Stasha and Nate. So Stasha went to go see, her mom, and needed, she got exactly what she needed to get. First off, mama is always gonna, lead you in the right direction. Not into the daddy home either, but she knew her daughter. So she knew that she was putting pressure, like to a degree, on Nate. And her fear was driving her the way she was moving, to begin with. So I enjoyed the advice, that she gave to her, as far as, like even giving her perspective, just telling her like, this is how you're going, and this is how, you probably want to, try and move, going forward or whatever or whatnot. Like, because I think they both, especially after when they were on their, their month anniversary date, and Nate was, just talking about how he felt like Stasha was basically being an a-hole, and how, the things that she was saying was surrounding trust, but it now felt like he wasn't being trusted, which then hurt him. But at the same time, she was pushing the way she was pushing because she doesn't necessarily, she doesn't, but yeah, like she is not, so has issues with trust as well. So it's kind of like they were both moving from a place of fear and mistrust. And the conversations needed to be had, they needed to be gotten through, so that I think they could come out on the end and really kind of, see that, and I am a believer that, trust is not necessarily built. It does sometimes have to be built back necessarily, because you break that trust. But for me, yeah, I'm a person who's just like, I'm going to trust you until you give me a reason not to do so. And how do I do that? By having faith. Yes. And it's crazy because it was like, what do you mean, Stasha? Like, yes, that's exactly what that is. That is faith. Faith is going in blindly and believing what someone says, or believing that a situation is going to be as the person says, or whatever, as it's going to be. And we'll just, I'm talking about general situations, but we'll just refer back to relationships. Like, right, you have faith in that this person is going to do right by you, is going to take care of you, is going to love you, whatever, whatever, whatever. That's what faith is. And I'm saying it's faith without works is dead. You can't not do the work either. Like, so all in all, I think it was the fact that when Nate was still able to say that even after that, and that he was in love, I was like, okay, okay, Nate. I definitely think he needed his own time. I think he probably might have already been there, and he just might not have necessarily known it, or he might have been even afraid to even put it out there. Because again, he has trust issues. Whether he wants to believe it or not, he has trauma around his mom. His mom abandoned him. If that does not scream, but outside of abandonment, trust issues, then I don't know what does. And maybe yeah. Call me biased, call me wrong. I don't believe people who have trauma are just okay, are not affected in any way. But I think what they do is they've been able to cover it for so long, or so that they think, or they've basically block things in their mind, or they've put this piece in their mind, and it was just like, nope, and now they've been doing this for so long with this mindset. So yeah, what do you mean, nothing's wrong, I don't, everything's okay. Even just going back to his mom, he does not think that there are issues there, I don't think necessarily. And that's why he's like, I don't have nothing to tell you, I don't have nothing to say, I don't have no connections, I don't have no feelings, I don't know her. She's your mom, bro. I definitely get that, but she was your mom, So it's, I don't even know if this is gonna make sense. While you don't have feelings, what was I even gonna say? I don't know what I was even gonna say no more. Like, while you may feel like you don't have feelings, it's still impacting you in some way. And boom, that's that. They went forth with this prenup, y'all, which I'm not, they both make good money. So, hey, whatever. Nate, despite, Stasha feeling like how she wants to feel, he was showing her. Him not the well, though he might not actually said it, he was showing her, whether it be future, whatever, whatever, whatever. You like that future thing that you're talking about, boom, when the situation with the prenup came about, he did not back away. He he stuck to his word and say, if that's what you want to do, I'm open. I don't mind doing this for you. Like whatever. If that's what's going to make you feel comfortable, he showed up. Either way, like the boy can already put it out there that he's in love. Like they are so just freaking cute. When they showed up for their for the group month anniversary, like they and the way they were just, I was just like, y'all are so cute. Y'all better look good together. Like they look like they belong together. It's making me nervous because I swear every time it seems like I'm talking so good and things seem to be so good, they basically showing in the previews that basically, nah, just that quick, things gonna go left, but we gonna stay on the high. We're gonna stay on the high with them. They, like I said, he expressed, being in love with her. They got matching tattoos. That always like signifies it for me. Like call me just a giddy, a girly girl. That's the love of being in love and in love with just love all in general. Them tattoos, the matching tattoos, baby. I just think that's cute. I just think it's cute. I love it. And I love how lovey-dovey they are, like, with each other. Like, it's cute. Okay, y'all. Who is the... Because technically, because I'm going to talk about the whole anniversary dinner after the fact. So, Alexis and Justin are... It just makes sense. And I might have even said it in the beginning. Things are going to hit so left because they are hitting it off so good in the beginning. And it's like they cannot get their footing, y'all, to get back to that place. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's communication. I don't know if just the masks are coming off and now we're having to deal with real things, and maybe she's not capable of being able to handle what's being put on her plate, from her husband, or okay. Alexis met with her friend. Alexis basically feels like she's on an emotional roller coaster. It's draining her. Justin met with his brother. They went fishing. For him, he feels like he's now in his head, which makes sense because you're overthinking like every single whatever. So it's causing him to mess up, more, I guess, so to speak. At least from his perspective, right? So but basically, I think we all know that Alexis, if this happened in a relationship, Alexis would have been gone. She's already admitted that she would have been gone. But I think at the same time because I swear I check her out every time. I'm like, she's done. Like she's done. Like I be checking her out every time. And each time, like even when they were doing the scrapbook together, it shows how like she's like committed, and how regardless that even with the drain, she's still trying to remain positive, about this. It sucks though that she is in a place where she can clearly be like, okay, like no matter what her decision right now, she feels like it's just not going to be good. Like I'm not going to be okay if I leave. I'm not going to be okay if I stay. And they really just cannot get their footing. I think like that's what really like it's like getting me, is they really cannot get their footing. She's losing her drive, for the marriage. He kind of just basically feels like he, I guess, can't do anything right. And then at that, every time I see him with Newton and all hugged up with Newton, I'm like, what is going on with his dog? If they've been married about a month, y'all, then that means that his dog, which at this point I don't even remember her name because she's been MIA, they have not talked about her. So, like, how long do they stay at these camps? He is like, does he not get to go and visit? Like, can we get a check-in about how this process is going with the dog? And, like, does anybody else not want to know what's going on with the dog? I want to know what's going on with the dog. Like, I just feel like she didn't got all forgot about in this situation. And which I don't necessarily think that she's all forgot about, but I'm like, people, these dogs were a big part of this story. They were a big part of their plot. They were the detriment of kind of like, I mean, if it was gonna go left, it was probably gonna go left. But let's be honest here. When their dogs, when his dog bit Newton, it just was not the same from there. From her, for her, and even from the outside looking in, that was where we saw how Justin communicates or really does not communicate. So, but I'm, like I said, I'm loving that she's trying to stay positive in this, like really, but I don't know. But when I see them and they are actually having those good moments and they're matching, I feel like matching smiles, it's like they can somehow something. I'm like, professionals, where y'all at? Like, I feel like these professionals need to be coming in and doing more check-ins and not leaving them to their own wits. They need more help. They need help, y'all. Come give these people some direction. So Kristen and Mitch. Let's go and leave Morgan and Ben for last. Let's leave Morgan and Ben for last. Y'all, the first time I got on here is success is the enemy of the environment. And that really stuck with me because I can understand as an environmentalist, or not even as an environmentalist, as a regular as a person who wants to succeed and is not an environmentalist, I can see what he's meaning by that. But my God, dude, like we cannot live just like this when your wife is not this. I think y'all, no matter what I put on here, what really stuck out for me for them was when they got their wedding stuff, because they were the actually only couple who actually like went out of town, like I don't say out of town, but they kind of like went on a little, little possibly staycation, maybe went to another part of San Diego, the mountains, like whatever. They went some little state like away or whatever it was, a little short trip. And Stasha took the liberty of babysitting Luna, had to clean her wrinkle. Because when Kristen grabbed that baby's head like that to clean her wrinkle, I was looking how Stasha was looking. I was like, oh, and she's like, well, that's the only way she's going to let you do it. It's the fact that she's letting you do it while you grab her up like that. Like, are you kidding me? But y'all, so I could see it all over Mitch's face that he was not very open to kind of going down that memory lane. And obviously I think it's because like that was such a high strung, if that's necessarily the word that I want to use, but a high, even emotional moment, for him. Like he was up there, y'all. Like he was up there. So for it to turn into him being open and then being able to acknowledge about the fact of, all right, boom, because like I say, sometimes pulling these files and things come at the right time. And especially with him, because regardless, I'm going to stand by the fact that Kristen is working harder than Mitch. So stand by it, and that's that. I'm not saying Mitch is not working hard, but I'm saying Kristen is working harder in regards to this marriage and making sure that he's happy with who she is and her, and making sure that she don't step on his toes. It's never the other way around. He's not worried about whether I started watching a little bit as I was getting set up, and I was watching a little bit of the after show, and he's just like, it looks a little bit on my high horse. Yeah, because like it's like your lifestyle is the better lifestyle, and maybe it is, but who are you to push that like that? Especially when you clearly didn't decide to marry somebody who's not an environmentalist. Like you did not choose somebody who was like you, unless you did. And which I feel like if you were very strict on that, then we possibly wouldn't even be here. That they would have given you what they wanted. Just like Stasha and Nate wanted a person who was of, success, and like, like if there were particular things that I'm pretty sure that they were going to do their best to try to meet that. Obviously, if they can't meet it, that may just mean, they didn't find the match for you. But they, I don't know, y'all, but when he even read his own vows and he was able to be self-aware and realize, like, yeah, I need to step it up. I needed to see these to also remind me that, yeah, there are some ways where I could be more committed to my vows, or I could be more living up to, my vows. So if anything in that, that's why I can give him credit on things like that, because he's very self-aware. I love a very self-aware. I love somebody who is like that. That's almost like my kryptonite at this point in life. Like, if you are self-aware, and that's even like for men and women at this point, like, that moment, I think, just kind of like brought up some memories of some circumstances when I was with some people who weren't self-aware, and it brought me back for a second. But we're gonna, we're gonna get through that. So, yeah. I think I'm gonna just stick with that. I think all this other stuff is kind of like fluff at this point, whatever, whatever, whatever. Because I really felt like that was really like my defining moment, for them too. But I also did have a defining moment for them too, as far as Christian was concerned. But we're gonna get to that, of course, in a minute, because y'all already know, what that is. I could definitely understand where he was coming from, though, about how he was basically kind of like comparing the yoga to like their relationship. It seemed a bit off at first, but as I kept taking a second, like, to kind of like get what he was saying, the whole, in a stretch you find your limit, and that's the edge. So I felt like what I took away from that is you do with this relation, with this situation, you are stretching each other to your limits with your disagreements, with your discussions, with who you are, as a person. Because again, y'all strangers, married at first sight, you don't know each other. And it's at that moment where you're learning your edge. It's that moment where you're learning how far each other, like, I don't want to say can go, but I had this so good, like, and I couldn't put it down on words because it was just too much. I couldn't type it out because it was just too much. But yeah, like that, in those moments of you stretching each other, you find that edge. And I think what that edge is that, what's the word that I'm looking for? I can't think of none of the words I can't think of none of the words I'm trying to get out tonight. That's just like that. Okay. All right. We're there. We're there now. You got me there. All right, and like, it come below. Did it make sense? Did it make sense for y'all? Did it sound like Mitch was pulling some stuff out of his ass? Talk to me definitely down there below. Um, Morgan and Ben. Morgan and Ben. Morgan and Ben. Were they doomed? Did the moment Ben got COVID, they didn't get married on the same day, like, did they doom themselves? How did we get here? How did we get here? I know how we got here, but I think I don't know why, for me, like, it's not that big of a deal, y'all. And I don't know why I want to give Ben so much grace. Like, I was feeling bad for him, y'all. And tell me why. Like, I'm sitting here like, okay, Ashley, we can't sit here and not acknowledge his wrongs. We can't, like, at the end of the day, she asked him not to go and talk to anybody. Where I am with Ben, to the couples, where I am with Ben is this. And this, I don't usually do this, but it also made me start thinking that, especially because I'm not getting, like, You're not getting other insights with me. You're kind of like just getting mines. So I thought about actually talking about like what was going on the after parties or whatever or whatnot. So I'm actually gonna like hit on it because I think it's gonna help to like it does help to bring like relevance and kind of help us to understand or whatever here about about why. Because my main thing was just like, okay, who else is he supposed to talk to? Because in my mind, again, everybody's just the stickler is I actually want to talk about this to other couples. I actually need you to go to other couples. So my first question was, okay, boom. Well, who was he supposed to go to? And then two, okay, if he can't go to the other couples, does that mean he can go to? Does he have anybody that he can go to be a conflict? Let's be honest, y'all. Like, okay, y'all, let's be honest. Whether Ben messed up from the beginning or not, he was shut out. I agree. I agree with what that lady on the podcast. So yet again, if you paid attention last week, I was talking about how so basically on the after party this week they had Mitch, they had Alexis, and they had the podcast lady who does the podcast on Marriage at First, who does a podcast about marriage at first sight. So she made a good point. I feel like Ben was kind of I feel like where they were, she was only feel like she could not trust him, whatever. So I do kind of feel like he might have been between a rock and a hard place. He might be feeling like he don't know how to get in with you, talk to you. So he's feeling like he's got to talk to, somebody, and okay, boom, like I said, boom, that was the biggest thing. I actually do this, so boom. According to Alexis, where I feel like these people are in the exact same situation as you are. Why would I not go to somebody who can a bit understand more about what's going on? But according to Alexis and Morgan, basically the inside, that's basically like an inside world. And at the end of the day, they don't want the inside world know what's going on. They would rather the outside world know than the inside. I digress. Obviously, that's not the words literally, but it basically was like it was literally just like this world is different. And yes, if you're gonna go talk to somebody, we would rather you talk to somebody who's not in marriage at first sight. That don't make sense to me, y'all. That don't make sense to me. But hey, I guess. But that's why I was for Ben. I'm like, well, he needs somebody to talk to. So basically, y'all, and I think what it is, I'm trying to make it even make sense. I'm like, okay, what is it about you that's causing you to go and bash this woman? Because according to Lexus, it wasn't even like, oh, outside of the fact that he's coming to Justin a lot and telling Justin, y'all business, he's saying things that may not be nice things. Like basically, I know you to be a certain person, and he's making it seem like you are like the total opposite, that you are just, and I'm just like, I'm like, okay, I need receipts. I need to know exactly what was said. And out of respect, I can respect it. Alexis not, choosing to not open up about what was actually, said, amongst them or whatever, what he said to Justin. But I think that's why I have a bit of grace for Justin, because honestly, for me, it's like telephone. Granted, it's just to say this. Is Alexis always there when Ben is having these conversations with Justin? Maybe not. So for me, it's still like telephone. While you still may have overheard something, is how you're bringing it to Morgan exactly how it came out from Ben? Or even if Justin came and told you, what he said could have, misinterpreted, or he twisted up a word, because he summarized, how we do, where it's summarizing or whatever. And then for her, she hears something else, and then that's how she relates it. Like it's so many factors here to why I'm like, I cannot just take Morgan's side, and I just cannot take Ben's side. I see from both of their perspectives in this particular situation. Morgan was pissed though. Morgan was pissed. And in the beginning, it seemed like when she was talking to her friend that it was done, that she wasn't gonna, follow through, with this anymore. But they did end up deciding to meet up or whatever based on their original plans for their 1 month anniversary. And first off, Morgan went to the darn gym beforehand. It could have been the day before, whatever. But clearly she had some frustrations to get out. And then when she came to meet him, first off, did anybody else see the fire just coming off her? The steam? She was freaking smoking, okay? She was smoking. She came in so hot, y'all. Like, even just her walk was just, like, it was, I was like, I was literally just, it was intense. Ben asked though, I just wanted to slap the fire from him because, bro, don't look at me like you don't even know what we're talking about. Don't look at me all clueless because I'm telling you that would have made me madder. That would have made me madder. And she did end up getting more upset because then he wasn't being honest. And even, I'm still not sure what level of honesty that we got. It was, he did take account of ability. He did take accountability for going to Justin, even though he wasn't at first. He was lying. It took the producers, of course, to stop Morgan and for him to just get a freaking clue to finally, still try to talk to her and, to bring some type of truth and understanding to this whole situation. And Morgan's like, you know what? At first I thought it was on some I'm gonna make you suffer like type thing, but she's gonna stick it in. She's gonna stick it out and see what happens in this next month, I guess. Like, part of me is like they can come back from this, and then the other part of me is just like the damage may really just be done at this point. It really may be. So y'all, that was just intense. Definitely, y'all talk to me. What did y'all think about like that whole situation with Morgan and Ben? Am I, do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel like, we should be, does Ben get grace? Did he really cross the line? Is it that serious? Like, it is in the form of like trust, but I don't know. Because, like I said, according to her, like, he was real. Like, I don't like it. God is really talking bad about me behind my back like that. And I'm jealous of you and your family. And, like, as you were just telling me that you really have, you have insecurities about your family. Like, okay, now you're starting to sound like a 413, like a girl, a woman. Honestly. And I can't even dumb it down to age because that is women grown up, older than me, my age. For whatever reason, it is a characteristic of women to beat up another woman because, all right, possibly, you know what? I take that back. No, I'm going to stick in that because I feel like I see a lot of women do it versus men do it. But and overall, that is what people do. When they don't feel good about themselves, it's easier for them to go. But women do it more. Women do it a lot more, or what it is we are very open with doing it. We do it out in the open for everybody to see. Because of this girl, whatever, she's ugly because why? Because she fucking with the dude that you like? That's the only why she's ugly. So the only why you feel some type of way about her looks. So at the same time, I'm not saying that you feel like you're ugly, but it's more just like the only reason why you have issue with this girl is because of something else that really has nothing even to do with her looks. What does her being ugly have to do with anything? If she is ugly. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I know I just threw that example out there, but it's just to say that that is things that women do. We go and we talk smack and we say things about, da-da-da, because really it's something about that woman that we find that puts us in, that makes us insecure about ourselves, period. And so thinking about it, that's it sucks it's coming from a dude, and I think this was the off-putting for me if that's what was happening. But I'm like, bro, like what? I'd rather it come from a girl than it come from a guy that I'm dating. Like, man, that's and him just sitting there like he don't know what's going on, like, and then just, bro, you're caught. You know you're caught. You know you're caught. Like, don't even try to save face. Like, don't even like. But and then I'm sitting here like feeling bad for you though at the same time because man, Morgan was ripping that boy a new ass. That's exactly what's happening. So they got them a party bus. They all got together for their monthly anniversaries. As a group. Nice, of course. The party bus situation, them having dinner, and of course, when they all get together, they talk about where they are, in their relationships, in their marriages, and Stasha, Nate, Miguel, and Lindy probably had the best of things to say, about each other that made me feel all giddy and good and just, I love it. Things went left with Alexis and Justin, and I'll just say this. I think Justin does know Alexis, so I think Alexis needs to give him credit to that. He knows her more than what she maybe give him credit for. All right. And then for two, at the same time, though, it is on you. If I say one thing and you still choose to harp on whatever it is, because really, even if you knew what you knew, and really, I don't really think that, because Alexa didn't have anything to say, and her not having anything to say in regards to their relationship was started this whole thing. But basically, she had something to say, but necessarily like, okay, he knew something was bothering her, but it may not have been to that extent. I think it was just disappointing for her to hear him talk about the progress of other people's relationships and the progress in theirs hasn't been much. But that also, for me, is about perspective, because he voiced that he feels like this is where I'm thinking that this is this, and now you're saying that this is this. No, that's not necessarily what she said. Like she said, if you feel that that is that, stand in that. Stand in your truth. And also when I say, babe, I'm good, I'm not upset with you, she wasn't upset. She just thought it was trippy, how da-da-da-da. And I feel like maybe she just felt like, you know what, I'm not going to address that right now. But we are good. I don't have an issue with you. What was that just now? But you we do that. We do it a lot. And this whole what do they like to call it, self-regulated like type thing. I don't know if I've ever like used that word or heard that word so much in my life, to self-regulating. And it had me sitting there like, do I self-regulate? Like, do I be having myself in order? I hope I do. Because if not, that means I might be looking like Justin. Y'all, honestly, watching it was a little bit draining, but at the same time, I understood where both of them were coming from. It ain't nothing new at this point. That's why I'm saying it now and I'm getting it over with, because the real boom da 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 of dinner was Kristen. I literally was like, thank you, Kristen. Finally. Like, thank you. Because I hate the word that I felt like she was being fake, because I don't think I think the overall basis of their relationship and I wouldn't say even the foundation of it. Like, I think I can kind of get what she's saying as far as it is a good marriage. It could be a good marriage. But then it's just that this one little thing. And I felt like that's what she had been holding in, as she's trying to speak so much positivity into this marriage, about this marriage, that she was not really voicing what was really going on. And I felt like it was like just like a release for her to finally just say, I'm not going to take away anything from your growth, whatever. But I'm doing a lot to make you happy, and I'm worried about me. When is me? When am I going to get some of that to what I'm giving you? Because if not, snap. When I could not be more grateful. That was everything for me. That was everything for me. Because like I said, I felt true to what Kristen was saying, but it was still just like, Kristen, what are you talking about? We're sitting here watching these things. Yes, it's good, but something still, no, like this part about your different lifestyles is still like a thing. So I definitely feel like her expressing herself needed to happen along with those vows. Happen all at one time. Not necessarily at one time, but y'all get what I'm saying. Kind of like back to back of maybe one another. Like I'm really hoping it helped to give Mitch some perspective. And he very well took it. Like I said, he is very self-aware. And right, like you're literally saying these things about yourself. Yeah, the same things that Kristen was saying was bothering me too. Bro, you signed up to be married. So all these, you need to change your mindset up like really quick. You know anything, or even if you could be a husband, but you decided that you wanted to, like that you're gonna go and play roulette with somebody else in this type of situation. Like that's what it sounds like to me. And it bothers me because it makes me just more and more think about what I remember what you said, like what you wanted, but what are you doing here? What are you really doing here? What do you really want out of here? Because right now, I remember him saying something specifically like, because if I don't get married, I don't think I'm ever going to get married. I cannot put it into words, y'all, but yeah, it's like a game. Let me just see if I can be a husband. And I'm gonna put this on somebody who like I'm not saying that's what like, oh, I'm hating how they see me coming out and sounding, but I'm still shooting for them, y'all. I'm gonna say all that to say, I'm gonna shut up and just say that I'm still shooting for them, y'all. And I think as crazy as it may seem right now, I think that they will be, speaking it, they're gonna be one of the couples that stay married. I don't know about after decision day. And when we get into what's next, but by decision day, I think that they are going to still choose to stay married, regardless of what I think I saw in the previews with Kristen, because I know how they do. That very well, though, she literally could be saying no, she don't know if she could do this anymore. But it was a good episode this week, y'all. Intense. It was a good one. So y'all know what I like. I love when y'all talk to me. Give me some comments below. Let me hear your thoughts on this episode. And yeah, my little person coughing in the back, but we're calling it one. We're out of here, y'all. I'll see y'all next week.